letting go of the stories, letting go of, that's why when you meditate you try to let go of the thoughts, because they're superfluous. The real you is the observer, is pure consciousness, is the actual experiencer, and you don't need an interpreter to have the experience. You can just be in pure experience, and then everything is fresh, everything is new. You can respond spontaneously, and whatever happens is gonna be fine.
Yesterday I was meditating. He was squashing every aluminum can in the house while I was trying to meditate.
Well, I didn't know you were meditating.
And it was like... he was like cleaning out the recycling, which is like 10 feet from my door. Like this, like squashing every fucking can. I'm like, okay, this is just a test. Just keep going.
What
just
you
breath.
What you need is
a sign that says quiet and meditating.
Like, on movie sets when there's a recording light or TV studios, you need a shut the fuck up light.
Yeah, I'm not.
I always allow all of those things to just happen.
Yeah, it's not
like I do my thing when I do my thing, and then whatever. Sometimes Ben is out there mowing the lawn, doing all.
It's just a test.
Stuff.
It's just you got to concentrate.
You have to do it anyway.
It's not the end of the world. I was meditating, and I thought, well, this is just an extra challenge. Instead of your wandering thoughts, it's the noise outside. All you have to do is what you're always supposed to do: just concentrate on your breath.
Right.
So. I'm not.
Good job, Brad.
Yeah, I'm not here saying, "Hey, next time I meditate, I'll let you know so you can come clean the kitchen." But But when it happens, I try not to let it bother me.
Yeah.
Welcome to Calm the Bleep Down, episode 3, where we're gonna complain about all the noise Brad makes.
I'm zen.
No, yeah.
Actually, you seem a lot more zen today than other times.
It's medication.
I want a shirt.
Medication are you taking?
I want a shirt that says. I want a shirt that says either highly meditated or self-meditated, and like self-medicated. Yeah,
I like self-meditated.
Yeah. I've seen the highly meditated
shirt.
That's a new shirt.
Yeah.
Self-meditated comedy.
Yeah,
we're gonna sell that.
Yeah. Hey, Emma. Sweet girl. Look at that face.
If anything represents calm and bleep down, that dog and her face. That cat could be hanging off her jowls with its claws and the same face. Same reaction.
She just goes like this. And she might go, but she doesn't ever jump up or anything. So, you had this thing. What's this thing called?
So this thing is a wandering mind exercise.
Yeah.
A wandering mind.
My mind already wanders. I don't need to practice.
I saw she had the calm and bleep down just then.
Yeah. No, but it's a demonstration to show sort of how easily our mind does wander. And then I have 2 variations that will that might help. It might make it worse. It might make concentration less mo better or less good.
Mo better or mo worser. Mo better or mo worser. Okay, so what's the concept?
All right, so what we're going to do is just for the first one, we'll just take a few breaths, just breathe normally, try to calm down because we've been running around and getting stressed out. So just take a few breaths, calm down.
Eyes closed or just?
Yeah, you can close your eyes, and I'll tell you what we're doing first, and then we'll
Should we explain to people what we're doing? We're holding spoons.
Oh, that's right. We have a podcast.
So we're holding spoons.
We're going to use spoons, and that it could be anything, but I figured just spoons is...
You mean anything like a pencil or a...
Right, it could be anything. I got this from my teacher's training, and he used a white sheet of paper, and I just figured white sheet of paper was going to be difficult for the video, and so I figured spoons would just be easier to demonstrate with.
Okay, so eyes closed.
So you're going to relax and just take a few breaths, and when you're ready, you're going to open your eyes, and you're going to focus all of your attention on the spoon. And here's the key. You're focusing your attention without analyzing, without thinking. So when you're looking at the spoon, just observe the spoon. Just be present with it without analyzing, without going, oh, it's... As soon as you have a thought, you're done.
So like,
okay,
looking in the reflections and seeing myself upside down. Yeah.
Just be present with the spoon. Just
with another
observe
object,
or any other object.
I mean, but you're just being present with this object.
You're just being present with it. And as soon as you have a thought about it, as soon as you're starting to go, oh, it's round, it's silver, it's a spoon.
I can see myself.
Just drop the spoon. So you open your eyes, you're looking at it and as soon as you have a thought, you drop it. Okay.
So why are we even bothering?
And then what?
Because their mind's gonna wonder like a split second. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's gonna be me.
I tried this.
Brad's mind wanders in between sentences.
I tried this with Ben. He was able to hold it for like 7 seconds. So.
Oh, this is a challenge now.
Yeah.
All right. So we're holding it up, and then we close our eyes, take a deep breath.
Yes, just take a few breaths whenever you're ready.
Center yourself.
Yeah, center whenever you're ready. Open your eyes. Observe. Just be present with the object in your hand. As soon as you have a thought, any thought at all, drop the spoon.
Do I lower it or just drop it like a mic drop?
No, just lower it.
Okay. Yeah.
So
what I did more than anything was sit there and wonder, was that a thought? Was that a thought about the spoon?
That's a thought.
Yeah, right. So I did that twice before. I loaded that on my second time. So the first time was, wait a minute, was that a thought? And that was a thought.
My problem is I'm seeing my reflection and upside down, and then I'm thinking about that.
The Matrix.
Yeah. I thought you were going to have us like do a spooning.
Yeah, play the spoons.
Why?
I don't know. Or a ding.
All right, so now you have a feel for how long that was. So the first variation we're going to do is...
Hold on, that wasn't the first variation? Oh, well, that was the first one.
That was like just
the first variation.
Basic.
Okay.
This is the first variation. So the first variation is so when you open your eyes, have the intention of going, what is it? And the reason for that is the mind is constantly interpreting. Mm-hmm. The mind is interpreting everything that happens to you. You're in an experience all the time, 24/7, right? Every single moment is an experience in and of itself. Yet the mind is constantly interpreting for you. It's saying, oh, I'm feeling so-and-so. It's hot. It's cold. I'm holding a spoon. The spoon is silver. You have a gray shirt on. You have a black... There's a narrator that is constantly talking and interpreting the experience for you.
So like our experiences aren't our experiences. Our experiences are the interpretation of the experience.
Exactly.
And that's
why
that's ego, right?
Right. Exactly. There's a story. The narrator in your mind itself is constantly creating these stories. And meditation is all about getting out of the story and just being completely present in the experience itself. Without the narration, without the interpretation. You don't need to interpret. You can actually just be in the experience without interpreting it for you.
I need a lot of practice doing that.
So the thing is, we know what this is, right? We all know that this is a spoon. And so there's a lot of thoughts that go along with holding a spoon. Yeah. Are you going to eat something?
That's the first thing I thought. Where's the ice cream?
So,
and did you know?
Is it non-dairy?
I just have to point out, it's what's distracting to me is I'm upside down this way and I'm normal this way. Why is that? That's
concave and
because of science.
But I'm upside down here and regular. So weird. Okay.
Are you just now realizing that?
No, that's weird? That's why I couldn't do it more than a second. It's like,
see that is the narrator right there, jumping in, trying to figure something out about your experience instead of just having the experience of seeing yourself upside down without talking about it.
But so many things do require our interpretation.
Many things do, but not everything. You can be in the experience without interpreting.
So like a baby. Mm-hmm. So a baby would be just playing with this.
Yeah. Like, not even knowing what this is.
Not even knowing what this is.
So sort of try to look at it as you are an alien. You have just landed on Earth and you've never seen a spoon before. You don't know what this is, so you have no preconceived ideas about the spoon.
If I just landed on Earth, I got other worries than what this thing is. All right, so the next variation.
So the next variation is, and we'll see if it gets better or worse, if your focus becomes better or worse, is to have the idea of just a curiosity, to open your eyes with a sense of curiosity going, what is it? Mm-hmm. And then just be with it. Okay? Does that make sense?
Can we fondle it?
Yeah, you can. You can.
But like just touch it, feel like, they feel it, or
but
we just
it's still the same thing. As soon as you have a thought about it, or a thought about anything, just lower the spoon and see if it makes a difference. See if curiosity to just be open to the experience itself without preconceived ideas.
The more times we do this exercise, the harder it will get each time too, because of all the pre-discussion about it before we even do it in the first place.
You think?
I think so.
I'm gonna try and focus on my peripheral vision and not on what's in front of me. It's easier for me to. I'm gonna try.
Do you see this? You ruined it. All right.
All right.
Now I'm upside down.
So was it easier or more difficult having curiosity?
I feel like it, obviously lasted a lot longer. Mm-hmm. Not obviously, but to me, obviously, I definitely lasted a little bit longer. But I also was able to push out any other thoughts by just repeating what is it. Almost like a mantra, really, in a way. Like, mm-hmm. just the what is it part. Mm-hmm. Like, what is it? I guess. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was different. Maybe a little bit easier. Mm-hmm.
And, the thing is, you can do that with other experiences too.
Yeah.
Opposed to, because we're constantly jumping to conclusions. Instead of listening and being fully present, we're jumping to conclusions. We're assuming that somebody is saying something. We're assuming that mm-hmm. they mean something by mm-hmm. whatever it is that they're saying. And so if we can just be more present and just be completely open and just be, what is actually being said? What is happening?
If I listen, I might lose the argument. I'm just making a joke.
Maybe.
That's the thing.
Maybe you'll respond appropriately.
No, that's the hardest part about getting people to just pay attention to the other person in the room, is because they are so afraid of being influenced by that other person's opinion when their ego wants them to disagree with it.
Yeah.
The ego wants you to be right.
And they're waiting to talk, because you'll say something, they'll make a thing, and then they'll want to make their point, and then they're waiting for you to get done.
And we've talked about this a little bit before. I have a thing where I feel like I've kind of seen a lot of things, and I've analyzed a lot of things, and I've thought deeply about a lot of things. It does make me feel like I haven't, like, there's nothing any random person could say that I haven't seen before. So, like, the way I've verbalized it before is nothing really surprises me anymore. And sometimes that feels kind of
jaded.
Yeah, cynical, or really even just like, it sounds boring. Like, I feel like life is boring sometimes because everyone is, and it's true, everyone is going off of their own script. But there are people like us who are out there 1,000 times further along their spiritual journey who are not running their script. Those people are out there too. But I very quickly will say, I have to stop myself from just having a preconceived notion about somebody based on my past, my own past, whether I knew that person or not. So the curiosity thing. Yeah,
recently, in the last, this year, so we're only a couple of months into it.
It feels like this year has been 5 years long already.
Yeah.
We're only in March, and it's like we've had World War III in January almost.
But again and again and again, and it happens so often that it's sort of like it hit me, because sometimes it has to be very extreme in order for you to see a pattern. And so I would be talking, and the person would interrupt me and basically finish my sentence for me. The only thing was, they were completely wrong.
Yes.
They were not saying what I was going to say. In fact, in many cases, I was going to say the exact opposite. Yeah. So every time I had to go, no. And then...
No, were you holding the spoon out of your face? You!
Clonking them in the head
You're
with my spoon.
You're being aggressive now.
So I would just have to say no, and then continue no. And this happened again and again and again and again. I'm like, wow, what is happening? Why is everyone thinking that they know what I'm going to say and are, they want to finish my sentence for me? I don't know. I don't have an answer. It was just an observation, and it made me curious.
Is it possible that they're wanting out of the conversation, so they're trying to end it by ending
that person may even have thought they were trying to let you know that they knew what you they were
maybe probably
like echoing. They're trying to okay.
Most of the time, it's people just trying to show you how smart they want you to think they're smart by knowing, Yeah. But here's the thing: life is experiences, and that's why the older, wiser, sage individuals are like these old wise men with their long beards or whatever. What do you call it? The knights and what do you call it? Why does it make me laugh every time?
Crones and wise men.
Crones and wise men. So Crohn's is a wise woman,
right?
Oh, right. And a Crohn's is a stomach disease, but also an old wise man. I picture like the kung fu master with the long beard.
Woman. A crone is a woman.
Crone is a woman, yes. and a wise man is a wise man.
Yeah.
Right.
You were saying crones.
Oh, I got it flipped. But when you say a wise man, I picture like the Zen master sitting on the mountaintop who can catch the poison dart without even looking at it. Like that before. There it is. Like in the kung fu movies. But those people definitely have experiences, and they perceive life and this whole thing in a different way. So they have seen it all before. They have seen everything before. So the hardest part is...
I'm going to disagree with you. I believe that the reason they are the way they are is because they see each moment as brand new.
Right. Well,
they're not pretending that they have seen it all. They are right in the moment, and everything is brand new. Everything is fresh. Yeah. Nothing is ever happening the same way twice.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like, even if they have seen the whole thing before, it is the almost like how many Zen masters or whatever have you seen portrayed in movies who just like are laughing or smiling? They're just happy. You know, it's because they're like the child's mind, or was it beginner's mind? Mm-hmm. They just like see everything as new.
But also, most of them are not worried about things like house, car, whatever. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. I don't know exactly how it goes, but one of the philosophies of the Buddhist monks is to, in their cleansing of material things, they imagine whatever it is, even if they like it or it's been passed down or something, or the antique maybe, that they imagine it already destroyed. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, eventually you jump in the future, that's going to be rusted or broke or something. Like there was this guy that someone came and visited and was admiring this antique and accidentally broke it, and he knew it was old and all of that and really important, and the guy didn't get upset, and he said, well, why doesn't that bother me? He said, because I just imagine it already destroyed, so it doesn't carry any weight if you break it because it was already broken.
So why don't we just burn it all down then?
But that is part of the Zen thing, though, is
you just enjoy it while it's there, knowing that everything is temporary.
And in a way, it's not really gone just because it's gone.
Right. Yeah. It's still, all the molecules are still there. It's
just you have to remember it.
It's weird though, but the way I do it is I imagine the worst case scenario. I accept that as a possibility, and then I try and come back to in between worst case and what I would really like, and then I just kind of accept it. It's probably going to be in here, so I'm not going to worry about
manifesting the worst case scenario a lot of the time.
Because I let it go.
I've seen it happen to you. Do you? Do you let it go? Do you really?
Well, I assume it's going to happen.
That's not letting it go.
So then I don't worry about it whether it does or doesn't.
I let it go, but it's probably going to happen.
We're probably all going to die. But
I tell,
just enjoy the moment.
I have students who I have a student who is going out on an audition. She's an actress. She went to New York and was auditioning to get into Tisch School of the Arts for NYU. And she was really nervous, and I'm like, it's good that you're nervous, because that means you're taking it seriously. You know, just don't let the nerves get the best of you. Like, use that energy to, you know, put it all in there. She said, but I don't know what's going to happen. I said, well, whatever it is that happens, it's already happened. And the only thing you can do is the best you can do in the moment. Like, prepare yourself to be as good as you can in that moment. And if they want you to be better than you could be in that moment, there's not anything you could have done about it except do better next time. And when I say that to people, I started saying that because, like, when it came out of my mouth, I'm like, that's actually kind of true. Whatever happens has already happened, because of the time-space continuum, and like you're on this path, and especially things like that you don't always have control over, except what you put in, what your part, whatever that is. Yeah. When I say whatever's happened has already happened, a lot of people go, well, that doesn't comfort me at all. Because what if whatever happens is the bad thing? I'm like, well, you just have to create it. It's like the energy you put into it. And when I say it, I know I'm not very good at it. I'm still working on it myself. I'm still like shedding a lot of unwanted molecules, you know, like the stuff that I've like little like static or like scarred tissue over from 46 years of life. I almost forgot how old I was. That you have to just get rid of before you can be that like happy self, you know? And I don't know.
Which is exactly what we've basically, you know, where we started.
Yeah.
Letting go of the stories.
Yeah.
Letting go of, that's why when you meditate you try to let go of the thoughts because they're superfluous.
Yeah.
You know, the real you is the observer, is pure consciousness, is the actual experiencer, and you don't need an interpreter to have the experience. You can just be in pure experience. And then everything is fresh, everything is new. You can respond spontaneously, and whatever happens is going to be fine.
Yeah, I want to add to that because I don't, well, part of my experience in relation to that is, you know, as far as dating and stuff or talking to the opposite sex, it can be very, I don't know, stressful for people, especially me, because I don't like being in crowds of people. I don't, you know, I just have a problem with, if I'm not prepared to be around people, it can be a problem. So you would think that I might have problem talking with women, but in regards to that, I realized once I accepted I am who I am. I
thought you were going to go this. Once I accepted this.
I'm disabled. I'm not, you know, I just accepted a future where, you know, I don't have to be with someone. I don't need someone to feel loved, you know, and then when...
Is that because you never feel loved anyway? Or...
Well, maybe. Well, I look in the mirror and I'm like, who's gonna... Nah. But part of that, though, is when I do see a woman I like,
my God.
It's not hard to talk to her.
Here we go.
It's not what you think. See, you're putting a conclusion and a judgment.
No, I just can't wait to hear what comes out of your mouth next.
It's not going to be what you think. See, he's trying to finish.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's filtering.
I don't know what I don't think anything. I just like, here we go. I can't wait to hear what you say next.
Yeah. So the point is that I can freely joke and talk and whatever and not even care because I remove the conclusion
expectation
yes.
Yeah.
So I mean that's the way that I can, like, when I do interact with people and or talk to a woman, it's just like it may sound I don't know, melancholy, but I'll say I'm never gonna end up with her. She's never gonna. So it doesn't matter what I say, but it may sound negative, but it frees me up to. Yeah. I can just joke and say whatever and be really charming because I'm not worried about saying the wrong thing, and because I'm just like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so, you know, I'm just gonna enjoy talking with this person right now.
I would say if you're able to remove that hint of negativity in there, if you were able
it's a negative
like
energy,
joyfully embrace, joyfully accept.
Yes.
Brad, have you ever experienced
joyfully remove the expectation of something happening? Then you're like you're right there, there in that right space.
Yeah. To just so you know, I am open when I have those interactions. I am open to. Maybe because I'll get I'll get their Facebook or something, and it's open, but I just remove the expectation and just let it be whatever. And
getting rid of our expectations it really frees you up.
Yeah.
It really frees you up because much of our unhappiness is because of our expectations of having a certain thing happen or not happen.
I was talking to Brad a few months ago about like cynicism and how cynics aren't they didn't start out cynics. They started out as hopeful people who just had the shit kicked out of them time and time again, and they have a crisis of faith. They not biblical faith, but like they just don't believe. Like that's what happened to me. Like it's like you just don't believe something good is going to happen, so you're like shit all over everything. Yeah, it's fucking like it's a self-preservation. Mm-hmm. But you were talking about joy, and I was thinking. I don't think I've talked to you guys about this. I was thinking about joy myself, and I have moments of laughter and happy and where I'm fine and content in the moment, but very rare do I have joy, like where I'm just like bouncing like Tigger, like bouncing all over the place, happy. I'm weighed down so much with my thoughts, and I'm not negative thoughts. I filter everything through my, like when something happens, I like think about it, and that's where I feel good thinking about it. I like thinking about it. I'm not turning it into a negative or a positive or anything. I'm just like, looking at it from every angle. But I don't jump around with joy an awful lot. I do have moments of elation, or like we were talking about, I think last time we were talking about gratitude or grace, where you think about things that make you feel good, or catharsis and stuff like that. But when people talk about joy, I just don't know
maybe it's your definition of joy. For me, joy is very quiet. It's very subdued. It's a very gentle kind of feeling. Mm-hmm. Whereas happiness, when somebody says I'm happy, then I'm thinking jumping up and down and being, the cheerleader kind of exaggerated kind of thing. But joy to me can be very muted.
It's weird because I think we get together and we talk about some very heavy topics. We talk about how unhappy everybody is, and when I say everybody, I mean like the collective universe, the Earth. Mm-hmm. Talk about how unhappy everybody is and how they're just being slowly boiled to death, like the frog in the pot of water who doesn't know he's being cooked because they're raising the temperature up. Like that's how I feel about people, us out in the world. We and those of us that identify it can slowly start to crawl out of the boiling pot, but it still takes time because we're human beings and we have our ego problems that everybody has, and you sort of get pulled back down into it. The next thing you know, you're sitting there screaming at CNN again. You know what I mean? Yes, the things on CNN are infuriating. The things on any news network or just anything like people's whatever is infuriating. The problem is that is also true. It's like the people, whatever, they're out there.
But is it really the thing? Is it really the event itself that is infuriating, or is it your thoughts, your interpretation of the event that is infuriating you?
Well, it depends on if I interpret that person to be an asshole or not.
Exactly. So it is you. You are making yourself
miserable.
But
like when we're talking about a big.
If you were able to just drop, right, at least like 50% of that thinking, those filters. This is a hugely important thing. Like I'm getting really into this whole thing of like just dropping your filters, because we're all filtering. We're in this trigger economy now where you have to, everybody's triggered. I'm triggered.
You gotta get toilet paper. I'm triggered.
And it's everybody else's fault, right? And that's really, really dangerous. This outrage culture that we're in right now is really dangerous.
Okay, you said trigger economy.
Because no one is taking responsibility for their own shit.
Totally agree.
You're making me responsible for keeping you happy, and if you're triggered by something that I say, then it's my fault.
I didn't do that.
And everybody's like that. Yeah. Like you can't say certain words because you're gonna trigger people. Yeah. You can't use certain sentences because you're gonna trigger people.
But I'm triggered. Bullshit. Okay.
That is really dangerous.
Are you outraged at the outrage?
I am. Yes.
That's just your thoughts filtering. That's your,
Yeah.
No, but like things like
we need to take responsibility. We have to take responsibility for how we feel, because it is our filters, our own mental constructs that are making us unhappy. If you say something and it triggers anger in me, what I need to do is I need to go, what is it in my life, in my experience, that is bringing up this anger right now? It is not you. It's not what you said. You have no idea that you were going to upset me. How could you? You don't know what happened to me 20, 30, 40 years ago that's going to make me angry today just because it reminds me.
But I still feel Brad's doing it on purpose. No, but when I was talking about, you see something on CNN or whatever, like just looking anywhere, it's like things that infuriate me are like inhumanities, like racism, stuff like that, like where you see people hating other people because of things they have no control over. Like the color of my skin makes someone hate me. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Those things are what.
But those are still filters. There are no exceptions here.
I know. I agree with you. I agree with you that there's no exceptions to it, but that's what's happening is when I say they're being slowly cooked to death, they're like picking things that don't fucking matter.
Yes.
And they're getting pissed off about them.
Yes.
I hate you, I hate you, you're right, you're wrong, I'm okay, you're not okay. Is that whole pissing contest of life that that everybody, it's white noise.
Yes. I need to ask a question. Is that sort of one of the reasons that meditation really helps with there's a thought, let it go? It seems like creating that habit can help you like decide, like before you go to turn on CNN, if you recognize it's a button, that's a trigger. I every time I'm done watching it, I'm upset. So you could kind of sort of use your practice in your meditation so that when you're about to, you can decide, okay, I'm going to watch this and I'm just not going to, and if it starts to bug me, I'm going to just remove that button, make it to where you can't press it and move it away.
Yeah, well, meditation will help you remove those triggers by healing whatever experience or it originates in. Okay. So, for example, if you had a trauma 20 years ago, and if I say something and it reminds you of something that happened, and a lot of times it's completely subconscious. You're not even putting the two and two together. It's just you really have to think about it in order to connect them. Yeah. But if I make you angry, if you just start to look and go, where is that coming from?
Okay.
You know, what she said triggered something in me that made me angry. Why am I really angry? Okay. What does it remind me of? Where does it come from? Yeah. And then you need to do the work to heal that. And this is like not an easy process. So this is not done in like 5 minutes. It can take years.
So you're saying...
meditation will allow you to slowly but surely heal all of those wounds so that you're not constantly triggered.
And the crazy thing is it does it without you even actually doing anything but meditating.
So what we're saying is if something triggered me, I need to be mindful of, wait a minute, I just got triggered, and then say why. And then maybe not necessarily in that moment, but you need to at some point address that. Why does this keeps bothering me? Why? Ask that why, and then I guess
the hard part is noticing when something's bothering you in the first
place. That's the hardest part.
People,
you just react.
You just are just reacting to it. I'll say we because I don't want to sound like we're talking about other people, but
yeah, we're not better.
It's like noticing when something bothers you. It's like when I stopped eating meat recently, and I noticed as soon as I stopped eating meat and I started eating much healthier in general just as a byproduct, and I knew that that's what would happen, which is the main reason why I stopped, because then I eliminated all junk food, not all junk food, but most junk food, like fast food type places. You're not eating vegan at many places.
Even Taco Bell, it's hard to eat vegan.
I noticed right away that the things that I could consume, like caffeine, regularly in excess without even thinking about it that day, I suddenly couldn't do anymore. Like, it was keeping me up at night.
It affected
because
you
there was
more.
so much less shit in my body that the one thing in my body that was still like causing problems, I could see it, but I'd slowly eliminated all the other things that were problems, and then I was able to isolate the one problem, the one thing. I still drink probably too much caffeine, but I try not to drink it at night so it doesn't keep me up.
Yeah, you don't drink coffee at all.
That's it. You have to being able to isolate the thing in the first place, admitting you have a problem.
And sometimes sometimes you have to do a lot of work. There have been some wounds in my past that I had to do a lot of all kinds of different work. But some things sort of resolve themselves simply by noticing them. I'll tell a story. Ben got triggered by something that I said and did, and had a big.
Is this juicy? Was this like yesterday or something?
Big blowout. No, this was a couple of weeks ago.
Have we talked about who Ben is? Ben is
my husband, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
my husband, basically. Is that how you introduce? This is my husband, basically. It's Ben.
We're not married, but we've been together for 20 years. We might as well be. It's one of those. It's like we got sick and tired of calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend. It sounds sort of juvenile, so. And partner sounds like you're gay. And, then all of a sudden it starts.
It never works. Even if I say writing partner or filmmaking partner,
you have to say producing partner or creative partner. You can't say.
Right.
This is my partner, Brad.
In Sweden, we have the perfect word.
What is it?
It's sambo. Sambo. It means your cohabitant partner. It's you're living together.
Yeah.
That's like an actual term. But anyway, so I use that as practice. He's talking, he's expressing. Of course, some of the things he's talking about is what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing to, trigger him.
Yeah.
And I was very present, and everything was fine. And but as the days wore on, like day 1, day 2, day 3. I'm starting to feel this passive aggressive thing coming up, like
from you or from him?
From me.
Yeah.
Like there's something going on inside of me where I'm going, I am not comfortable. I'm feeling a little bit passive aggressive. I feel like I want to lash out a little bit. Like, why is that? And I was going through our conversation and sort of like looking at, is it one of those things where I feel that what he said about me is actually true, and is it one of those things? And I said, no, that's not it. And so every single day I basically meditated on it. I would just do this thing where just show me what it is, show me what it is, show me what it is. And so day 5, I'm making coffee. It's early in the morning. It's very dark and it's very cozy. Putting the coffee pot on the stove, and this is one of those you never know when it's going to hit you, and it literally hit me like a 2x4. All of a sudden it was right there. It was crystal clear what the problem was. It was crystal clear what this story was. And what I did differently that day, normally when something comes up, I will take time to think about it before I bring things up. I will sort of like analyze what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it. But that morning I was like, Ben, here's what happened. Yeah, I triggered you and now you triggered me, and here's what I'm dealing with right now. And he's like, what?
That was my trigger. You can't trigger off my trigger.
So he's like, oh wow, great. Now we're just bouncing off of each other like ping pong balls.
Trigger
and I'm
happy.
like, basically that's what
people are
that's
doing.
what happens, right? So the only difference was that that we're doing it with awareness. We're bouncing off of each other with awareness now, because we're working on it and we're talking about these things and we're sort of aware that this is how things work, right? So I just spewed the whole thing out, told the whole story, and so we basically just said, okay, he's going to work on his stuff, I'm going to work on my stuff, and we're going to have some compassion for each other while we're doing that. But the nice thing was, simply by getting it all out and having him listen and be receptive and compassionate, it just sort of like lost steam. Because I was very sort of like passionate in the moment. Yeah. I was talking quite loudly. I think the neighbors could probably hear me as I'm talking. But then it just sort of lost steam. And I try to test myself. Like I'll put myself in there and sort of go like, okay, what if that actually happens? What if that really is true? And it doesn't have that emotional punch anymore. It just sort of, it's going sort of simmering out by itself.
I want to make a quick observation. You were talking about the curiosity of the spoon. So I'm sort of seeing a theme of the idea of being curious is as to how you were noticing how it made you feel, but the important part was you were curious as to why. You weren't like, you did this to me. You wanted to see, why am I feeling this way? The act and the process of the why is this, and then expressing, look, this is what happened and how I'm feeling, and then it's like energy.
Yes.
You're noticing it, and just by noticing it and then I don't know, I guess letting it out, or instead of holding it in, you're
it's I see it as like just allowing it to flow through you,
right?
Because the emotion is just an energy.
Yeah. So then
feelings, emotions are just energy, and if you allow them to go, then just like a thought, they just flow through you, and they disappear.
It all goes back to it's ego. Mm-hmm.
But it was really fascinating to see how his filters were filtering what I was saying and doing into something that was basically like 180 degrees from what my intention was, and vice versa. Really, when I came out with my story was like 180 degrees away from what he was thinking.
We're talking about the inhumanities thing, like stuff that pisses me off and things like that. Over time, all it's really done in the last decade, when I've been way more aware of that stuff. The only thing you can do you can't go convince. I mean, you can, but most likely you're not going to convince some asshole KKK racist person to not be that. So the only thing you can do is what you can do, which is just be better. Mm-hmm. So that's what I've been trying to do more my own self lately, is not get caught up in the asshole show, like whatever that is today. You flip on the news, Facebook,
whatever, it's already gonna
and just be contrary to that. Like if something's upsetting you, be contrary to that. Like mindfully make an effort to not be that person, because the only thing you can do is like that. And I really do believe that like that energy that you put out from that. People talk about changing the world. You're not going to change 1 million people at one time, but you can change the experience of one person that you interact with on the street, 7-Eleven, whatever, by being that person, like changing someone's mind one person at a time. Mm-hmm. You really can. Mm-hmm. That's the only way you can do it.
So when we notice, like if we're talking about getting to the point where we notice something's going to bother us, or that we notice, oh, this was bothering me. So are we kind of talking about, okay, I'm not going to dwell on this. I'm not going to let it build up. It's just, this is a thing. It's a fact or whatever. I can't change it. Because I think the dwelling on it and like repeating it in your head and then that you can build it up to be more. But if you're like in the meditation, if you're just like, this is what this is now, I'm not gonna, just have to let that go.
Yeah.
I guess.
Do you want to do the third?
Do you want to do the third? Do you want to do the third?
So the third version is going to be a breathing exercise. We're going to do some deep breathing exercises, and this actually requires a little bit of explanation too. Many of us are breathing incorrectly. Many of us are over breathing, and one of the things that I realized was that I was not breathing out properly. I was not breathing out enough. A lot of times, yoga teachers, meditation teachers, they're always talking about deep breathing. The problem with that is if you're already over breathing, doing deep breathing exercises can actually make matters worse because you're already breathing too much. Breathing in is very easy. Your body does that very automatically. Breathing out, however, you actually need to put some muscle into it. You need to actually, squeeze it out. So I noticed, and this was like 3 years ago when I started doing breathing exercises and I was writing a lot about breathing. I realized that I was not breathing out enough. So, and I also realized that my diaphragm was so tense, like my whole entire torso was so tense that I really couldn't breathe deeply, and I couldn't breathe out very, very good. So what I started doing is I always focus on my out breath. So.
And you use your...
Yeah, your out breath is at least twice or 3 or 4 times longer than your in breath.
Pushing it with your...
Yes. So
is that a habit you've formed, or is that something everyone should be doing? Because when I probably do the same thing when I'm breathing. I concentrate on the breathing in more than the breathing out. And if I'm going to lose my focus, it's on the breathe out.
Yeah. I had to train myself to do that because, see, what happens is when you breathe in, if you're breathing in and you're breathing out too shallow, what ends up happening is it gets more and more shallow because you're not emptying out, and it just gets more and more filled. Your lungs get more filled with air, and you end up hyperventilating. So you're it's very difficult to breathe. And then you end up with sighing, like a heavy sighing, or you have to take a deep breath before you're talking. Headaches, anxiety, all of those things sort of result from poor breathing. But for me, the problem really was that I was not breathing out long enough. So I would train myself. My out breath is about twice as long as my in breath.
That was at least twice as long.
Because if you do an exercise, I had just like try it.
So you exhale and then you
take a breath in and take a natural breath out, and then keep forcing, and you'll see how much air you still have in your lungs.
I want to make a suggestion because one of the...
And now keep going. See how much extra air you have in there?
It can help if you, on the in breath, you count the 4, and the out breath, you can count the 6 or 7 or whatever. And that can help.
I usually do 4 and 8.
4 and 8.
That's my natural rhythm. That's a comfortable rhythm for me. So my natural in breath is like about 4, and then I push it to 8, and that way it creates a much better flow for me. Everybody's going to be different. So for this one, we're going to breath hold, but we're not going to breath hold on the in breath. We're going to breath hold on the out breath. Okay. So you're going to breathe in, breathe out as long as you can, like really squeeze everything out, and then hold your breath for as long as is comfortable. You're not trying to go into a coma here. Just for as long as it's comfortable, and then do a natural in-breath. Just allow the body to go And then breathe out, 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 out as much as you can. Hold your breath for as long as is comfortable. And then on a breath hold, open your eyes. And again, do the whole same thing. Just observe the spoon, be with the spoon, be present with it. When you need to breathe, keep breathing, of course. You're not going to hold your breath.
Oh, okay.
So just keep breathing, but keep doing the longer out breath and the breath holding. And see if that changes your ability to maintain focus. This is actually kind of interesting. We'll find out.
Okay, so do the process with our eyes closed, and then on
Right.
a breath hold.
Yes.
On an exhale breath hold.
Open your eyes.
Open your eyes.
Yeah.
So are we supposed to hold our breath, exhale, and then hold our breath?
So you want me to demonstrate?
Yeah,
I can try to make it extra exaggerated, just to, because normally you're not going to hear it. So.
And then on one of those breath holds right there, we're supposed to open our eyes. Okay.
Right, and when you need to breathe, just keep breathing.
Just do it. Yes. Just keep doing it for a moment. Okay. Ready? You're holding the spoon on. I'm just. That last time I wasn't even thinking about the spoon, but I had a different thought. Whatever the thought was like probably something to do with time, how much time we have left. Yeah.
After practice,
that is exactly why that's the meditation thing. The concentrating on our breath. Like that's a perfect example in my mind of how to show somebody why meditation could work, how meditation can work for them.
I did a lot better on the last one.
Yeah.
I think partly because I practiced before, but then also I had something, rather than just breathing, I had something to focus on as far as the out and then the holding the breath. But then also I was able to just, instead of just focusing on the spoon, I was looking at the spoon, but I was focusing, I was seeing everything. Like peripheral, whatever. So then I wasn't noticing a dot or the little imperfections on the spoon. I was just, there's a spoon, there's a thing. It was just, and then anytime something started to come in, before I even noticed what it was, I was just like.
That's exactly the experience that I have too. It's, for some reason, that allows me to use my will to stay quiet.
That's good exercise.
So what you're saying is there is no spoon?
Yes, I was waiting.
No spoon.
It is not me that is bending the spoon, but the spoon is bending me. Yes. The spoon bent. Hey, that's the name of the show.
I know.
The spoon bent us.
No, there is no spoon.
Oh, okay. There is no spoon.
It's the connection between your breath and your mind. Your breath and your mind are completely connected. So the calmer and slower your breath is, the calmer your mind will be. It also has to do with literally biology, because when you overbreathe, you are actually depleting your body of oxygen. It sounds paradoxical, but that's how the blood chemistry works. When you are breathing too much, you are actually lowering the oxygen levels in your blood. and you're lowering the oxygen to your cells, including your brain cells. When your brain cells are low on oxygen, it gets chaotic. That's when you end up with anxiety and racing thoughts and things like that, because it's like
it's not
biology
it's not just that it works. It's
there are many reasons for why it works, yes. And so your that's why breath work is so important. You can completely change your biology simply by breathing correctly. But what fascinates me is the ability of that kind of breathing, that out breath hold, how it calms me down. Because when I do that after like 12 repetitions, I'm feeling just like
Zen.
I do, yeah.
It's
works.
really, really calming.
Huh.
And I mean, we only did how many breaths did you do before you did it?
I
did maybe
I think
2 or 3.
On my third, I opened my eyes. I think.
Yeah, but if you do it like 12 times, you can really get to a very calm state, and then you really focus.
So is that how you're meditating? When you're meditating and you're doing the breathing in and the breathing out, is that what you're doing?
Many times, yes. Especially if I'm frazzled.
All right.
That's a good place to stop.
Yeah.